Hi there, lovely people. Good morning from Dhaka, Bangladesh. Today I'll be doing a few fragrance reviews for you. First house I'm gonna do is gonna be House of Joop, and we'll start with the ladies' perfumes first. Okay, and this fragrance is a fragrance. It's a very iconic perfume. Okay, this perfume I've been looking at for like let's say a couple of years. I have one story to tell you, and I finally got it. So I'll review it for you. The fragrance gonna be the female counterpart of Joop Homme, which is going to be Joop Femme, right? This perfume, this is an iconic fragrance to my in my world. The reason being, this fragrance I have seen it in many places. Like many ladies talk about it, men talk about it, like how this fragrance is so beast mode, as well as this fragrance is so unisex, leaning towards more men's masculine side. So all these things made me very attracted towards this fragrance, and I saw it in one of the shops like some 3 years back, like before the COVID started, and that shop had plenty of this fragrance. Like they had like at least 10 to 12 in stock, and the prices were very good. But for some reason, our psychology is like when you have things in abundance, you don't really pay attention. You buy the things that is hard to find. So now I still believe they have this around, but the prices have gone high. Okay, one thing. Second thing, this fragrance is not that available in every shop, right? So you guys know, before I start talking about Joop Femme, I'll talk about a little bit of Joop Homme, the iconic pink juice. This basically I feel is a very syrupy, thick, sweet cinnamon floral perfume, and it's a very love it or hate it fragrance. One of the most yeah, I really love that fragrance. But it's one of the most iconic as well as controversial fragrance, like love it or hate it. Not everybody can stomach this, and it has this very weird sort of a sweetness, very thick, powdery, and it works really fine in winter. So this one is the reformulated version. Obviously I don't have old vintage, but still this one is beautiful in the winter time. So I love that. Let's see how the women's one is. So this fragrance comes in 100 ml and EDT concentration. This is the packaging. I recently bought it. Okay, it has this blue kind of like a dark theme going on, blue and black, two-tone colored up there. Looks like that. I took out the bottle already. So both sides they have same thing written, and base you're gonna find the batch code and barcode and stuff like that. So nothing much to the box, but looks really nice. The coloration is very beautiful. It looks really, you can tell from far this is Joop. Okay, Joop is very colorful house for me. Okay, so here is the presentation. I really like this. I don't know how to hold it or which side is right. I think this is the right side. Okay, at the back it looks kind of like different. It does have like kind of like a building sort of appearance. Sometimes you see those buildings. It has a little bit of a slope, or it looks like a building basically. I've seen a lot of these kind of designs in Malaysia. Like they have Maybank Malaysia and perhaps have a bottle like it. I mean building like that. Really yellow marigold color juice, says Joop, and doesn't say Femme anywhere. I guess it by the bottle itself make a statement. The cap is of I don't know, this cap is kind of weird, doesn't really go with the quality of the bottle. It looks like sort of like a cough syrup cap. The atomizer is really nice. The bottle looks really good, but I really wish it had that Joop kind of a side by side. You see, this is much more polished and complete. This one, perhaps they wanted to make a little bit different statement, so it's okay. So the cap is the one thing I don't like, but it does click onto place somewhat, but doesn't really feel secure. Okay, base you'll find the sticker. Okay, and the thing is, Joop Homme, if I'm not mistaken, that was 125 ml. Ladies one is 100 ml. So I have it pre-sprayed on the paper for some time, and this actually turned into very animalic fragrance. Okay, and I'll let you know who's this for, what I get from it. If you're scared for atomizer, the inside is black. So show you the sprayer. Sprayer is good, gives out a lot of juice. The cap is not really secure once again, so I hold it like this. It's easier because it's like a round at the back, like easy to grip. This perfume, let it settle down. One other reason I really wanted to try it, because I love Joop Homme. I want to do the female counterpart of it, and I want to see what's the big fuss is about. Next I want to try Polo Safari for women, and perhaps also what's other fragrance. I want to try a few more of women's perfumes which are iconic. Let's say Must de Cartier. I want to try that. Bit hard to find nowadays, right? So the bottle, nice. Price range on this in Bangladesh right now is you find somewhere $35 to $40. Not very expensive, but it used to be like well under $30. Now the price has gone high due to COVID and all the costs going high. So this one, first of all, who is this for? I think this fragrance can be easily worn by both genders. Anybody, a man and women, can wear it alike, because this one has a powerhouse vibe. What I mean by powerhouse, this one has florals, this one has aldehydes, this one has a lot of notes. I think there is tons of notes. I will not remember them, but in the end, the dry down, it has this castoreum sort of something animalic in it, okay? And they have complexity about this perfume. It's beast mode, so I think it will be really good for colder months. Winter time, this would be a lovely fragrance. So for both genders, lovely. And when women say this one leans more towards men's side, I can see what they mean. So definitely has potency about it and very polarizing sort of vibe in it. And this fragrance is not like your typical citrus, floral, fruity perfume, okay? This one has some citrus up top when sprayed for the first time. This has some old school citrus, but opening, it definitely shows that animalic floral side of it. I think there is perhaps orange blossom neroli. From the thousands of notes, this is what I'm picking up, major notes. Perhaps galbanum, like a floral. Aldehydes, that aldehydic property perhaps feels like sunshine, you know. So very strong, very bold statement. This one you need to try before you buy. Do not blind buy this fragrance even if you find it for cheap, okay? This one takes a lot of wearing to get used to it. If you're not into powerhouses, strong stuff, this fragrance is not for. Even if you like florals, this is not your typical floral. It turns very animalic and you have to have the right sort of character to pull it off, you know. So definitely, as a guy, if you're wearing this, if you love Kuros, this feels very similar to Kuros to my nose. It has this dirty yet floral, fresh, clean vibe with that florals, but also leans towards animalic. So I really think this fragrance is amazing. It's like even more so than Joop Home, the pink juice, you know. This is potent, but this is a lot more rebel. This one should have been the ladies' counterpart, and this one should have been men's counterpart. But this definitely has some retro vibe to it, you know. This one doesn't smell like La Vie Belle or Black Opium or Armani C of nowadays, okay? Very bold, classic, sort of like a historical perfume. That's what I feel about this, and I'm really happy. It has this powdery effect, it has this little bit of spices, and also has the florals, that the animalic, civet, whatever the note is in there, maybe perhaps carnation, you know, maybe there is cinnamony vibe, you know. There's so many things going on, tonka bean perhaps. But what I mostly get is that fragrance smells like kind of like 70s, 80s, you know, movies, you know, like YSL cinema. If you like those kind of perfumes, this is in that style. Chanel number 5, a lot more daring than that. So this one, if you also like YSL Opium or Opium Purom, this one will be right up your alley. So Kuros, Opium Purom, if you like those kind of fragrances, this is a fragrance I would definitely suggest you try. And if you want a performer, banger of a performer, this is banger of a performer. Longevity and projection through the roofs. It can beat Joop Home by mile, okay? I get on my skin, my skin is not the most blessed one, but I do get about 7 to 8 hours in our condition, you know. So, you know, apply with caution. Just go one spray under the shirt or your sweater. It will basically give out like projection almost half the day or more than that, you know. In the winter time, this is so beautiful. But then all those scary stuff that I told you, apart from that, there's a beautiful, lovely side of it, you know. There's like a fragrance I smelled, Poeme, I think Poem. Which house was it? Givenchy, I forget that name, house name. But a lot of this classy perfume that I smell, like Shalimar, you know. I'm not saying this smells like Shalimar, but a lot of those fragrances that really keeps you captivated, keeps you guessing, keeps you wondering, study a perfume and get different things, different times, a different stage of the life of the perfume. It opens up certain ways. The heart is something and the base is totally something else. So basically, this fragrance never becomes a lovey-dovey dear fragrance. It always remains a very bold perfume out there. The character of this fragrance is very aggressive, okay? So spray perhaps half, not a full spray, okay? And this perfume is, I would suggest to mature noses, okay? This is not something I would suggest for teenagers or schoolgoers. If you give this to your school-going daughter, you are making a big mistake, okay? This kind of perfumes they wouldn't wear or dare wear. Definitely a classy vibe. Cinemas back in the days, 80s, 90s cinemas, classic, you know, imagine like on a open field, like there's a cinema, open cinema, and then you're sitting on those vintage car with your sweetheart, as a lady or as a guy, whatever the case is, and you're watching a like good old movie, you know, like a black and white, you know, like back in those days, and you're wearing this, such a classic, you know, to go with that. So definitely it has some dated vibe to it, but I think it is still relevant today if you're into vintage sort of fragrances. So one of the classic fragrances, Joop, Femme, amazing fragrance, longevity and projection. I would give it like 10 easily. Bottle design I like, but the cap is not that great. But as a smell, like right now, today, if you ask me, being honest, perhaps this is not relevant anymore, like to younger kids or something. But if you are like in your 30s, 40s, in your already or more than that, this fragrance will definitely have a place in your heart. So overall, this perfume, I will rate this like 8 out of 10, solid 8 out of 10. Nice perfume, but I cannot suggest this for everybody. Try before you buy. Thanks very much for watching. Time to move on to the second review. Have a nice day. Bye bye.